I think with IP, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and it's also a perishable asset, not just the 20 years, but when the market suddenly gets really excited about it. For example, Facebook, I guess I'll quiz you guys. First of all, how many patents had Facebook actually filed organically themselves?
Less than that.
Does anybody know? Guesses?
Probably under 5.
4.
Actually, it was 46.
46.
But they now own 1,400 patents. So 46 they filed internally out of 1,400 assets that they have. So very interesting. They clearly value external patents, and they've done a lot of acquiring recently in areas where they felt they needed to be covered. Google obviously acquired, I think, 17,000 patents as part of the Motorola acquisition. 5 years ago, did they value patents in the mobile space before Android was going forward? Not quite as much. So it really depends on, is the large company planning to enter a new market area? Do they have the patents internally that will cover them in that market area, or do they feel like they might have some exposure once they start selling products in that area? So, the value of any of this, it's like saying, what's the value of an engineering team? I don't know. It depends on if the other company has similar engineers or not, or engineers they feel are better. Valuing patents is very much like valuing engineering teams, I think, because are these, granted, they're tradable assets, and one could argue that employees are freer to go and not assigned necessarily, but it really depends. One thing we do know is that claims need to be very well written, because claims that are not well written tend to not be valued. We know that granted patents are worth more than patent applications in most cases, because obviously you can't start licensing or getting offensive at all, or even really defending yourself until they're actually granted. But then it really depends. Is this a disruptive area that people care about? Are we in a market that people care about that's growing, where there's significant product revenues or not? So valuing portfolios is really, really tough, and that's why you do need to know what's happening in the market overall, who's exposed, who's not exposed. Is there litigation going on in that market right now? Is there aggressive, is there interest in people going into new markets and building new products in this area? It is really, really subjective, and all those different factors need to be weighed.